Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 33rd meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. I see that there are some minutes to approve. Commissioners, may I have a type of action?
My motion will be to approve the minutes of the 7th, 22nd, and 24th meetings as previously circulated.
Second. Just as a point of order, is it the 17th and 24th?
17th, 22nd, and 24th.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Minutes of the 17th, 22nd, and 24th meetings as previously circulated are approved. Moving into our hearings calendar, public hearings, calling agenda item number 1, transfer application number 22-24933 from Green Ocean Ventures LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Ross Shinsato, authorized agent. I'm standing in for Wayne Luke, who is off island. To my right is Roxanne Okazaki, member.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony for this agenda item number 1? Hearing and seeing none, commissioners, questions, comments, type of action.
Mr. Shinsato, just to confirm, right, looking at your floor plan, the outside seating area is not part of the licensed space. You will not be using that space to serve alcohol, correct?
Currently, it's not within the licensed area, but they did get approval for a permanent extension to use that space, which should be effective upon approval of the transfer. So after the transfer is granted, the space will be used.
And I guess my recommendation would be that at some point you might want to update your floor plan with all of it incumbent, just so that we all know what the floor plan is and where the license space would be.
Yes.
Okay. I have no more questions.
Okay, I move we approve transfer application number 22-24933.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Transfer application number 22-24933 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 2, application number 22-24347 from Enriquez LLC.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
I'm Reno Henriquez and Linda Henriquez for Fresh Catch.
Enriquez
Henriquez LLC.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Is there anyone who'd like to testify as to agenda item number 2? Hearing and seeing none, commissioners, any comments, questions, or type of action?
So, sorry. Last name
Free
again.
pokey, free pokey.
No. You know, sorry. We don't take those things.
Enriquez.
Sorry, Mr. Enriquez. So I'm just confirming your floor plan, right? You have 2 stories, correct?
Correct.
The second story is just going to be some dining area, or is it just storage? The second floor.
The second floor is the bar with the dining area.
Okay. And then the only other thing I would say is, I've seen there's been a few violations at some of your other locations. Let's make sure we kind of work on that, right?
We actually stopped selling liquor at all locations.
Okay.
It just was too hard with the workers not checking and it's not worth it.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah,
we get to see them, so let's just make sure we
For sure,
try
yeah.
to do our best we can. Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
I move we approve application number 22-24347.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24347 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, you guys.
Appreciate it.
Have a good afternoon.
Moving into special license applications, calling agenda item number 3, applications number 23-01-606-1 through 23-01-606-7 inclusive from Hawaii Polo School and Training Foundation.
Yes, I'm Constance Scott,
Could you please spell your name for the record?
Constance, last name Gause.
Commissioners, any questions on these applications?
Hold on, Ms. Gauze. So the questions I'm going to have is going to be. So I know, if I remember correctly, we kind of approved some type of special license last year, right, for similar events, correct?
Yes, this is the 60th year that's ahead.
So, I mean, I was only sitting from the last one, so was there any prior issues with last year's fundraiser?
No,
And you're gonna be running a similar floor plan like you did last year, right, where you're gonna have the bar area enclosed, right, with fencing or something?
yes,
And then you're gonna have checkers when they get in or at the bars?
yes.
Looks like you anticipate much less than capacity. Is that still the case?
I'm sorry, I have a little trouble hearing.
No problem. It looks like you're anticipating much less than your capacity. Is that still the case?
More than likely, except
Yeah.
it's our 60th anniversary. Grand opening may be more than typical, yeah.
So that would be being your 60th anniversary. I have another question.
We approve special license application number 23-01-601. Wait, 23-01-606-1 through 7.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I'll vote aye. The motion carried. Applications number 23-01-606-1 through 23-01-606-7 are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving into preliminary hearings, calling agenda item number 4, transfer application number 22-25029 from K Express Inc.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Min Young on behalf of K Express Inc. On my right is Chan Hyuk Lee. Here's the investigative report.
Commissioners, questions, comments, or of action?
so Ms. Wu, just one door entrance, yeah? On the
Yes.
floor plan.
Yes.
No other question.
Okay, I move we approve application number 22-25029.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Transfer application number 22-25029 is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 5, application number 22-24867 from Ace Enterprise Group LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners, Ross Shinto, authorized agent. I'm standing in for Wayne Luke, who is off island. To my left is manager member Katie Yoza, spelled Katie.
Mr. Shinsato, looking at the floor plans, I know the second exhibit A has some red markings, which talks about the Kapolani Boulevard stairway access to the premises on the second floor. But other exhibit A that I'm assuming is the second floor, I do not see any like actual red markings showing what is the actual licensed space. So make sure that as we work forward to pass the preliminary hearing, if it gets approved, that we make sure that the lineage can be seen, so we kind of know exactly what space is going to be used. Please.
Yes,
Is it for that first page? Is it the entire premises? On Exhibit A, the first page of Exhibit A.
Exhibit A would be the upstairs, yes,
The entire upstairs.
yes.
No other questions besides?
And move we approve application number 22-24867.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24867 is approved. Calling agenda item number 6, application number 22-24911 from Honolulu Beer Works LLC.
Afternoon, Chairman Buckley, members of the commission, Naomi Cole on behalf of Honolulu Beer Works. Present to my right is owner Jeffrey, spelled Geoffery. Last name Seidman, Seigeman. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. Commissioners.
I move we approve application number 22-24911.
second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24911 is approved. I'm also calling out of order agenda item number 11, application number 23-01161 from Honolulu Beer Works LLC. Ms. Cole.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Buckley, members of the commission, Naomi Cole on behalf of Honolulu Beer Works. Present to my right is owner Mr. Jeffrey Seidman. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Commissioners.
I move we approve application number 23-01161.
second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01161 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Going back into order, calling agenda item number 7, application number 22-25015 from Lucia's Ward LLC, DBA Casino. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Lucia's Ward LLC. Appearing with me is Jin Hong, an owner. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Could you just please spell your name for the record?
Sure, it's Jin, last name is Hong, Hong.
No relation.
No relation.
Mr. Gota, couple questions on the floor plan. How many people does our plan look like it can see?
It's about 80 indoors, and
Indoors?
then we're expecting maybe another 20 to 30 outside.
Okay, so then on the outside dining area, what do you guys have as to delineate your guys' licensed space?
The intent is to have planters to delineate the space.
Okay. And so the space that's, if you're looking at your floor plan, all that space on the left and all the space in the front, the top half, that's all outdoors, correct?
Correct.
Then you, and is there only 2 egress and entrance doors for those 2 areas? So I know there's one at the front end and it looks like there's one at the very back end. Correct.
Yes,
And so you're gonna have at least stationed people out there, correct, to make sure we don't have any alcohol passing
yes.
or going over your planters. The other thing I would say is obviously there has been some other situations at some of the other locations with violations. Let's make sure we work on those things. Because I know what is that one? The bigger one, Cafe Duck Butt, has a lot more than the other 2. So yeah, let's make sure we work on that, especially since now this space, I believe, is a lot bigger than maybe not bigger than Mad Benny's and D&B's, but DB Grill, but I do think it is a lot bigger than Duck Butt. So let's make sure We're gonna work on that. I don't have any other questions.
The outdoor space, where is that in the context of the building? Is that in the front
This,
location?
yeah, it's in the back street by the park. It's kind of like a dead end right now because
Ah.
they're doing construction of the new building,
I see.
so it's in between Awahi and Queen Street.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
I have no other questions.
I move we approve application number 22-25015.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-25015 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 8. Application number 22-25059 from PB Restaurant LLC. Good afternoon, Mr. Kyuchi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Keith Kyuchi for the applicant. Mr. Komkowicz couldn't be here today, will be here at the public hearing. We have no corrections or additions to the investigative report. Licensee has been operating under standalone temporary license since August of 2022.
And no issues, Mr. Kyuchi.
I beg your pardon?
No
No,
issues.
no issues. This, you go farther back, this is the old Kakako kitchen space. So it's right at the front of Ward Center. If you recall, when we did the temporary, it's close to the commission, Ward Center is going to be torn down around 2025.
Are you licensing the outdoor space as well? So you cover.
Yeah, we are. We had a bit of an issue with the outdoor space because the plan that the landlord gave us didn't match what was physically there. So when investigator Tan went out, we had to go correct the plan. And to anticipate the next question, there are barriers. And so, and we're going to monitor outside. We've been doing that since the temporary license.
Commissioners, any other questions?
yeah, I would just want to reiterate, make sure we have someone kind of watching, because that's a large space that drains right to the loading ramp area, right?
The
And that
loading
one
ramp
corner-
area is like directly across, but the bigger problem is that's an egress
Yeah,
right in front of the outdoor dining area. Apparently at some point during Kakako Kitchen's life, they expanded because the tenant before that was Bernard's New York Deli, and they had a smaller footprint. And that's why we had a bit of an issue with that, so.
Mr. Kyuchi, I'm wondering about this mezzanine.
Yeah.
Where's that connect?
That was kind of a surprise too, but that's going to be used for storage and for office. But it's not accessible to the public. So if you notice, the investigative report said for licensee use only. But we had to license that because there's no other way out. You can't have a non-license next to a license. We had to license that anyway. So I mean, the good part of that is the investigators didn't want to take a look at the operation with access to upstairs too.
no questions.
I move we approve application number 22-25059.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-25059 is approved.
And we're going to ask that the public hearing be held in 7 weeks because their second temp runs out pretty quickly.
As the letter is just sent to us and then we process.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Mr. Kyuchi. Calling agenda item number 9, application number 22-25064 from Eggs and Things Hawaii Inc.
Chair, Vice Chair and Commissioners, Robert Melcher on behalf of the applicant. And with me is Ika Nawano, Nawano, the president of the applicant. And to my right is Edwin Ota, OHTA, the regional manager. We have reviewed the report and would like to address several of the concerns that the investigator had with respect. The first one is the noise issue. This is a family restaurant, so there's no live music or dancing. So, and when the application is approved for the license, they plan to close at around 10 p.m. at the latest. And with respect to the outside dining area, they plan to have someone there at all times monitoring the area. And I have a rendition of what they propose the outside to look like, but again, it's going to be modified because it has to get approval from the Waikiki neighborhood board. But they do plan to have it blocked off, and someone will be there at all times monitoring it, and they plan to have cameras on site at all times.
And
Other than that, no other questions or changes.
And for the record, the applicant has provided a depiction of the premises that we will put into the record.
Thank you.
Do you want to, perhaps you can make copies of this, however that works, or put into the file.
This is right off Kalakaua Boulevard, isn't it?
Right.
Yes.
Just a couple questions on the floor plan. If I remember correctly, right hand side of your floor plan, is that also the stairway that leads into the hotel itself?
Yes, that is correct.
And so the entrance and exit for the outside seating will be from that area.
Yes, sir.
And then as you go in, right, I'll be honest, I've only seen from the outside. I haven't went into the establishment prior when it was at that circular hotel space in Waikiki. So is that part of the lobby area too? That's part of the licensed space? Or is that all part of your restaurant?
That's part of the lobby area.
Lobby
And
area.
we did submit a letter from the landlord authorizing the tenant to be able to access that space to be able to get to the outdoor seating area.
So the only comment I want to make is so everyone understands, because it's your licensed space, even if somebody is doing something illegally with other alcohol that they're bringing in or out of the hotel, that's your licensed space. That would be something that you could be cited for, have something happen. So I just want everybody to know that that is your licensed space.
So if someone is perhaps has an alcohol beverage in the lobby, not saying came from ours, we are still
It
liable.
could be, right? If someone catches it's in your licensed space,
Mhm.
I don't know how that all transgresses. I'm just letting you know that that's your licensed space. You're liable for the space you have,
Understood.
okay? Beyond that, I don't have any other questions or comments.
I move we approve application number 22-25064.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-25064 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 10, application number 22-25067 from House of Brewing LLC. While the applicant makes his way up to the front, I'll make a disclosure. The applicant was a client of my prior law firm. The applicant is not a client of my current law firm, and this will not prohibit me from being impartial in this matter. Please state your record.
Justin Hickman, HEIKKIMEN.
Commissioners, any comments, questions, or type of action?
So just one entrance and exit point, yeah, for the tasting area.
Yeah, so that one that's marked as an exit is gonna stay locked during business hours. The entry and then the roll-up door that's right next to it will be the entry and exit for the place.
This is the preliminary, yeah. Okay, so the only thing I would recommend is on, at least on your life, on the floor plan area. I want to show what is going to be the roll-up door, because I only see the two swinging doors and the one
Okay, yeah,
door. I mean, that's the only thing I see. in
yeah,
the
no,
floor
fair
plan.
enough, yeah,
So-
Frederick was out there and we talked through it, but yeah, fair enough,
Okay.
it's not labeled on the thing, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, as we go through the process. That's all the questions I have.
I move we approve application number 22-25067.
Second,
There's been a motion, a second. Any objections, or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-25067 is approved. Thank you. Moving into temporary license applications, calling agenda item number 12, application number 22-25075 from Jen Capole LP.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Kevin Coble, representing Jen Copyright. To my right is Carla with a K. Sorry, Feliciano. Sorry, I was trying to think of, but I was trying to think, how am I gonna spell this? Could you spell your last?
FELICIANO.
We have no change, sorry, she's the GM for the Jen Korean couple. We have no changes to the report.
Questions, comments, or type of action?
It's like Applebee's. I don't think where that actually is in Kapolei.
Kamakana.
Yeah,
Kamakana.
Yeah, it used to be the Applebee's, so they're actually breaking the whole thing down and
Okay,
building it to a.
got it.
Because Jen Korean is a very specific look, if you've ever been in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they have the venting system, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's a change.
I have no other questions.
Do you know when the former tenant left
When they
that
vacated?
premises? Yeah,
Not off the top of my head. It was sometime. It was, I believe it was almost a year.
you have a new application pending.
Yes. This was just to keep things going for them. They're in the process of actually demolition right now, so the build out will take a little bit of time.
I move we approve application number 22-25075.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-25075 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
so Mr. Jacobo, I want to ask you, how's your Honda doing?
Well,
Probably a long time commercial ago.
Thank goodness for safe life repair, safe life replacement. We got it done in under an hour, and I was like that the day after, so.
Because I see you on your commercial too, recently.
Oh, yeah.
The Honda win.
Yeah, Hondas are great. I leased my car from there before I did the commercial, so I was like, I need to get a deal on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Calling agenda item number 13, application number 23-01434 from Better Bites Thai LLC. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Ross Shinsato, authorized agent. Arnott Tauru Sooth is here. He stepped downstairs. Want to continue it until he comes back up.
If we have specific questions, we can wait. We'll move forward.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
The Phuket Thai that was in this space prior to you, do you know when they vacated that space?
According
Approximately.
to the Liquor Commission records, it would be around 2013. They actually,
2013.
yes. They were in that space until late last year,
Late last year. That-
but their liquor license had expired in 2013.
Go ahead and identify. For the
Oh,
record.
yes, please. Identify yourself.
Yeah,
To my right is member Arnott Tauru Sooth. ARNONT TOWEERASOOTH.
Thank you. Mr. I, do we have any way of verifying if the liquor license for the premises was in fact not,
Oh, when they let it expire,
yeah,
type of thing.
2013 is
Um,
quite a long time.
I If it's not in the investigative report, we could take a quick recess and I see the licensing
No, actually,
supervisor is gonna go.
I do see in the report that it had expired July 9th, 2013. So that date is correct. You have a permanent pending, correct?
We're applying for a new license.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yours is a long time on a temporary. Is there any other questions or comments on that or anything else?
It's not listed in there and it's not put down. I mean, obviously it'll be on your permanent license, but you guys are kind of using the same space or same licensed area that Phuket Thai was using,
A little smaller.
a little smaller. Okay,
They subdivided a space, so we
Okay.
lost about 500 square feet.
okay. I have no other questions.
We approve application number 23-01434.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye with reservations. This is 10 years since the liquor license has expired. That is a long time. We don't typically encourage temporary license on a 10-year span. But you do have a permanent pending with public hearing necessary for that permanent, so we will approve it on those grounds. So with that statement, the motion carries, the application is approved. Application number 23-01434 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Following agenda item number 14, application number 23-01442 from 88 Paul KL LNC Corp.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Min Young-woo on behalf of 88 Par Kiamoku LNC Corp. On my right is David Choi, President of the corporation. No changes to the investigative report.
Comments, questions, type of action?
Miss Wu, I'm still trying to figure out exactly where the building is. So I know it's on the corner of Bishop, but it's on the corner of Bishop and Hotel Street.
Yes, it is the inside of Executive Center, which
Okay.
is a condo hotel
Okay,
condominium in the lobby level.
okay. And you guys haven't seen any issues or problems in that area, right?
Not that I know.
Okay, all right. All right, I don't have any other questions.
You have the transfer application pending, correct?
Yes.
And we approve application number 23-01442.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01442 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving into requests, calling agenda item number 15, request number 22-24839 from Maya's Tapas and Wine LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Michael Beekler, BIECHLER. I'm attorney representing Maya's Tapas and Wine Incorporated, formerly Maya's Tapas and Wine LLC.
Good afternoon. Any questions, comments, or type of action? I understand this is a conversion from LLC to corporation. And so
Correct.
You're redefining the previous members of the LLC to shareholders of the corporation.
Correct.
another question.
Okay, I move we approve request number 22-24839.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. Motion carries. Request number 22-24839 is approved.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Calling agenda number 16, a request number 23-01571 from Pools and Catering by Cinnabon Inc. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Foods and Catering by Sinublan.
You're just changing the date of this event
Yes, sir.
from February 26th all the way to December.
Yes. No changes to the original floor plan or anything. Just the date.
Just the date. Great.
Mr. Other, could you just refresh me what the event was? I know we had done a bunch of different events.
Yeah, for sure. So this one was supposed to be a baby shower,
Okay,
but the baby decided to come out early, so they're gonna do a wedding anniversary.
Or really late.
Sure, yeah, but yeah. For sure.
I have no other questions.
I move we approve request number 23-01571.
Second,
There's been a motion and second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Request number 23-01571 is approved.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, thanks. Commissioners, can I have a type of action for agenda item number 17?
motion for adoption of findings of facts, conclusions of law, decision and order for agenda item number 17.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Findings of fact, conclusions of law, decision and order will be adopted for agenda item number 17. Similarly, commissioners, may I have a type of action for agenda item 18 through agenda item number 35 inclusive?
Motion for adoption of decision and order for agenda item 18 through 35 inclusively.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Decision and order will be entered and adopted for agenda items number 18 through 35 inclusive.
Mr. Chair, before we go into adjudication, the next 5 minutes.
Yes, of course, Commissioner. Before we begin our adjudication hearings, we will take a brief recess. Thank you.
It's
Okay, we are back on the record. Thank you for allowing us a brief recess. Moving into adjudication hearings, we are going to take out of order agenda item number 43, LCV 23-0010, Seafood City Supermarket.
Good afternoon, Chair Buckley, members of the commission, Lincoln Ashita, representing Seafood City Supermarket. Good afternoon.
Madam Singer, can you read the charge, please?
Should I make my appearance first?
Oh,
Yes.
Deputy Corporation Counsel Thomas Knapsager on behalf of the city and county of Honolulu.
Thank you.
Waive reading.
We have waived reading the charge. Are you going to enter a plea?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to be entering a plea?
Yes, we plead no contest to the charge, and for the record, we waive presence of our client for the purposes of this hearing only. Thank you.
Thank you.
motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knapsinger, your recommendations, please.
This violation occurred on June 30th, 2022, when licensee failed to properly report its gross liquor sales. This was the second violation in 5 years with a $750 recommended fine. The first violation within the past 5 years occurred on June 30th, 2019, which also resulted in a $750 fine.
Explanations. Sheila.
Yes, sir. This commission is probably much more familiar with this respondent than we are. We were just recently retained in this case, and our commitment in this matter is to ensure that we need to clean this up. You know, as Mr. Knapsinger indicated, this is actually a third violation. And apparently what happens is, for lack of better explanation, they don't know what to do. And from what I understand it, they call the commission, they say, okay, what do you guys want? And you know, that's really not how it works. They need to get their appropriate figures and documentation in order. So they retained a CPA that works out of California. As I said, they recently just retained our firm. So we're presently working with them to ensure that the 2023 reports get filed not only timely, but accurately as well. So based upon that, that's not an excuse. That's the reason what happened.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Knapsinger, is second violation or is it?
This is the second within the past 5 years. Typically, they issue warnings for these violations. However, according to the report from the audit supervisor, this licensee has repeatedly submitted an incomplete GLS report for 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2021.
You say the fine the first time was $750 and the recommended fine in this matter is also $750. Is that correct?
That's correct. The violation from 2019 also was a second from the previous 5 years. However, the first violation from that one is beyond the 5-year period. So this is also a second violation.
Okay. Mr. Ashida, I mean, work with your client to try to fix it because it seems like they have a consistent problem with this. When it starts to get the second violation, and you know, obviously, as you've heard, right, they were incomplete on many other years prior. You know, hopefully this will get them to learn, but it's going to be a cost for learning because my motion will be to approve the recommended fine of $750 for agenda item number 43.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $750 will be imposed for agenda item number 43.
Thank you, commissioners. Appreciate you taking us out of order. Diane.
Going back into order, calling agenda item number 36, LCV 23-0007, 2012 Honolulu. Agenda item number 36. Is there anyone here to appear? Could we please call in the hallway? Thank you. Mr. Nassinger.
We would request entry of default at this time.
Could you please state for the record your attempts at service?
It looks like the notice of hearing was served on Lawrence Taliban, the licensee's manager on February 25th, 2023.
And what would your recommended fine be in this matter?
This violation occurred on January 20th, 2023, when licensee permitted sale, service, or consumption of liquor after hours at 2:19 a.m. This is a first violation with a $690 recommended fine, which includes a $500 base fine and a $190 surcharge for the 19 minutes over.
Commissioners?
Sorry, what was the total fine again?
The total was $690.
Mr. Knopfinger, does the report say if it was employees drinking or if it was regular patrons?
It states that approximately 10 customers were inside the above licensed premises. Alcohol was still out in plain sight and readily available on the bar top. It doesn't say how many specifically drinks there were, but there were 10 customers inside.
So my inclination is that I'm not against going with a default judgment, but my concern is, seems like the licensee cares nothing in a sense of a violation that is kind of pretty major in a sense of you're continuing to serve alcohol after the hours. I mean, I don't know if they'll learn by just getting out and not even coming.
Well, that was a recommended fine, so we can either move for entry of default and then continue the penalty phase, or we can impose a different fine.
So I
This
guess
is the first violation. I'm sorry.
No,
This is
sorry.
the first violation.
That's correct.
First violation.
and if we deliberate, sorry.
The commission will now deliberate. Okay, we are back on the record.
Thank you for the time. My motion will be to enter default judgment for agenda item number 36.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, or reservations? Hearing and seeing none. The motion carries. Default shall be entered for agenda item number 36.
My motion is going to be though that in regards to the penalty phase, we want to continue on the penalty phase for 2 weeks. To have other additional trials to get in contact with the licensee. Reason for that is we want them to be here to understand how important it is. You have a time limit, you shouldn't be serving at that point.
Mr. Rice, 2 weeks acceptable.
March 30.
March 30th. Second. There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none. I also vote aye. The motion carries. The penalty phase for agenda item number 36 shall be continued until the March 30th calendar date. Calling agenda item number 37, LCC 23-0011, Chico's Tavern. Chico's Tavern, agenda item number 37. Could we call in the hallway, please? Thank you. Doesn't look to be. Mr. Nafziger, what would you like to do?
We would request entry of default.
Could you, for the record, tell us how service was delivered?
It looks like service was made on Officer Leilani Young on February 24th, 2023.
Was that at the premise?
Yes, it appears to be so.
What will be your recommended fine for this matter?
This violation occurred on January 29th, 2023, when licensee permitted liquor to be open and readily available after hours at 2:06 a.m. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $560, which includes a $500 base fine and a $60 surcharge for these 6 minutes over.
Oh, this is similar to the last agenda item.
Correct, just a different amount of time.
Commissioners, would you like to proceed as we did in the prior agenda?
One note about the March 30th hearing. I know that we already have quite a few continuances. We also have 2 contested cases with an interpreter schedule. So we might not want to continue too many to the 30th, just to be aware.
Okay,
Thank you. It's a good point.
so my motion will be agenda item number 37. To enter default judgment for agenda item 37.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Default shall be entered for agenda item number 37.
For the penalty phase, though, I am going to make a motion that we continue that matter, let's say 3 weeks, that way we're not stuck in the March 30th meeting, if that works.
April 6th.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. And the objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The penalty phase for agenda item number 37 shall be continued to the April 6th calendar date. Calling agenda item number 38, LCB 23-0003, Club Waterfall. Good afternoon. Can you please state your name for the record?
Excuse me,
Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
sorry, I'm not this one. What?
Could you please state your name and spell your name for the record?
Oh, yeah, my name is J-U-O-K S-O-U-N-G.
Thank you.
Mr. Nafziger, can you please read the charges?
Charge 1, on or about January 6, 2023, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii. Licensee employed Sunyu Kim in the section of the licensed premises where liquor is sold, served, or consumed without said employee being properly registered with the Liquor Commission in violation of Rule 3-82-38.5, subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu. Charge 2, on or about January 6, 2023, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have a time card or other adequate record showing in English the month, day, year, and time indicating AM or PM and the legal first name and surname of its employee, Sunyu Kim, when that employee was on duty in violation of Rule 3-82-38.4 subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Charge 3, on or about January 6, 2023, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee's employee Sun Yu Kim, whose conduct licensee is strictly accountable for under Rule 3-84-78.01 subsection A, consumed liquor while on duty on the licensed premises in violation of Rule 3-84-78.01 subsection B of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Okay, so Ms. Sung. We're gonna go through each individual charge, and you're going to have a right to make a plea. Okay, you can either accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
Yeah, I'm everything, I agree.
Okay, so that will go one at a time, and then I'm gonna ask you, okay, and then you can make your plea, okay? So for charge 1, do you accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest?
Sure, I don't understand, sorry.
Okay, so denying the charge means that you don't agree that it happened.
Oh, I don't agree.
Okay.
Oh.
Then accepting the charge means
Accepting the
you
charge,
agree,
yeah.
or pleading no contest means kind of a similar thing, but you're not saying, you're just saying no contest.
Accept the charge,
Okay, so for charge 1, you're gonna plead, you're gonna accept the charge.
yes.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The please accept it.
Okay, so we're gonna go to charge 2. You deny the charge, accept the charge, or
charge.
plead no. Okay, motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
And then for charge 3, accept, deny. Okay, so you accept the charge? Accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nabs, your recommendations for all 3 of the charges, please?
Charge 1, where employee did not have a registration. This is a second violation. The recommended fine is $500. The first violation occurred on February 21st, 2020 with a $350 fine. For charge 2, where licensee failed to have a time card for its employee, this is a second violation with a $350 recommended fine. The first violation occurred on February 21st, 2020, which resulted in a $250 fine. For charge 3, where licensee's employee consumed liquor on duty, this is a first violation with a $500 recommended fine. So to repeat, charge 1 is a $500 recommendation, charge 2 is $350, and charge 3 is $500.
My calculations is correct. It's 1,350 for all 3.
Correct.
This song, you know, there's 2 of these charges. This is the second time it's happened. So you need to make sure that people, you know, are registered with the Liquor Commission and that you have a time card for people. Okay, because otherwise you're gonna continue to get violations. Okay, and these violations are costly for you. Okay.
I don't know, calculator.
Okay, so my motion is going to be to accept a recommended fine of $500 for charge 1, a recommended fine of $350 for charge 2, and a recommended fine of $500 for charge 3 with a grand total of $1,350.
I second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fee of $500 will be imposed for charge 1. A fee of $350 will be imposed for charge 2. And a fine of $500 will be imposed for charge 3 for an aggregate fine of $1,350 for agenda item number 38. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 39. LCB 23-0004 Il Tapo.
Commissioners, for this matter, I spoke with licensee's attorney Keith Fucci. Licensee was not able to make the meeting tonight. He requested a continuance to the April 27 hearing. We have no objections.
It's right, April 27, is that acceptable? That should be fine. So agenda item number 39 will be continued to the April 27th hearing calendar. Calling agenda item number 40, LCV 23-0005, La Cucina.
The chair, I will make a disclaimer or disclosure that I do go to this restaurant and eat quite frequently, and so but this will not impact my ability to be impartial in deciding on this matter.
Thank you, Commissioner. Would anyone like to appear for agenda item number 40, LCV 23-0005, La Cucina? We make a call outside. Thank you. Mr. Nessinger,
We'd request entry of default.
and could you for the record state how services?
Notice of hearing was served on owner Dong Trung on February 25th, 2023 on the licensed premises.
And what would be your recommended fine in this matter?
This violation occurred on January 14, 2023, when licensee failed to have a registered manager in charge. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
My motion will be to approve default judgment for agenda item number 40.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Default shall be entered for agenda item number 40.
But I also think based off this, we don't have a manager in charge of the licensed premises. That's a pretty major violation. So I'm probably gonna want to talk about in regards to the penalty phase, continuing this for 3 weeks until we can try to get service to have the owner come, because I think they should know they need a manager on duty.
Second.
Wait, was it? I'm sorry, was that a motion?
A motion, yes, a motion to hold off on judgment for 3 weeks, hold off on the penalty phase for 3 weeks or continuance for 3 weeks.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The penalty phase for agenda item number 40 shall be continued to the April 6th calendar date. Calling agenda item number 41, LCV 22-0066, Sansei Seafood Restaurant and Sushi Bar, UK Steakhouse. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Dave DK Kodama, and I'm the owner of both restaurants. And what else? We plead no contest. We take this violation very seriously. I just want to let you know that. Any violation.
Hold on, so we're gonna go through the process. You're gonna have a right to, easy, you're gonna have a right to
Okay.
do all of that. So first would be we would first have him read the charge, and then we'll ask you for your plea, and you'll have your ability to explain, okay?
Got it. All right.
Mr. Nasinger, can you please read the charge?
On or about May 10, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have a duly registered manager in active charge of the licensed premise during the time the establishment is licensed to sell or serve liquor in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9 subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Mr. Kodama, how would you like to plead? You can plead, accept the charge, deny the charge, or no contest.
We will plead no contest with.
Okay, you'll be able to explain right after.
Okay,
Hold on.
thank you.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nasinger, what is your recommendation?
This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
If I could you put your name in, your name, please?
Mark Okamoto.
Thank you.
Okay, so, Mr. Kodama, you can explain for agenda item number 41, what happened?
Okay, well, due to COVID, due to lack of labor, our corporate manager resigning. We have to find another corporate manager, and this kind of fell through the cracks. Okay, we just try to get the restaurant up and running and going. And like I said, we take violations very seriously. I did not get the violation personally. And I didn't get a mail copy personally, because all our mail went to our old address in Waterfront. And we didn't get the what is that violation, notice of violation. So we kind of like did nothing until we found out we had that. And then I, of course, act very quickly on it. So That's what I did. But we have a new corporate manager now, and he was hired in November. And he and I, attack this business like we should.
So I guess a question for you is when you left your waterfront area and you moved to your not the other area your guys folks have, did someone at least notify the commission of the change of address? Because
No,
obviously
we
we're
did
not
not.
going to know, right? Unless you tell us, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, and another question I guess I would have is during this time period, right? So I guess the violation happened on May 10th, 2022. I'm assuming you were still serving alcohol during this time period without a manager on duty that was registered.
you know what? I can't really recall who our manager was, and they didn't have a blue card, I would guess. Yeah,
Mr. Nabzinger, does the violation report show which manager they talked to, or if there was someone that they talked to that was a manager that said, or did someone say there was no manager in charge?
They spoke with Mark Okamoto.
Okay. So I'm assuming he if he didn't have a card then, I'm assuming he has now. Okay. These kind of things, I understand, it's a violation, it's pretty serious, we take them kind of serious, because obviously we want to make sure that no one is over consuming or over indulging, and that's what the manager has the education kind of see as much as your servers. We do take it pretty harsh, and
Right.
so it is going to be, it's going to be a finding to address it going forward. You got the new people and things like that, but is going to be to approve the recommended fine of $500 for agenda item number 41.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $500 will be imposed for agenda item number 41. Calling agenda item number 42, LCB 22-0138, Sansei Seafood Restaurant and Sushi Bar, DK Steakhouse. Please state your names again for the record.
excuse me,
Please state your names again for the record.
Dave DK Kodama. Marco Komodo.
Mr. Nabziger, can you repeat the charge?
On or about September 28, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have a duly registered manager in active charge of the licensed premises during the time the establishment is licensed to sell or serve liquor in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9 subsection A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
And Mr. Kodama, how would you like to plead in agenda item 42?
No contest again.
Okay, motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nabziger, what is your recommendations?
This also counts as a first violation because the previous one hadn't been adjudicated yet. The recommended fine is $500.
Mr. Kodama, explanations.
Well, this is the first I've heard of it, after this second violation, so I acted quickly on it and made sure all our managers got blue cards. After the first violation, I did not hear about it. We had a slew of managers come in and out, and again, it slipped through the cracks. Had I been on top of it, I would have had everyone get a blue card, including the bartenders themselves. One bartender has one. Since then, we went through maybe about 10 different bartenders, and they're all looking for better jobs. They're all looking for better pay, better hours, etc. So it's kind of hard to keep help. And like I said, I take it seriously. So they all got their blue cards now.
So I guess the question I would have is this the same establishment? Or is it, because there's only one, right? One establishment. Okay.
How long have you been at that price?
It's 2005.
I'm assuming, Mr. Nabziger, does it state which manager or if they talk to a manager?
It was, again, it was Mark Okamoto.
Okay. Okay.
So, Mr. Okamoto, after the first issuance of a citation, no communication to try to alleviate this issue up until the second one?
Well, we had tried to get all the other managers to get their blue cards, which wasn't many. So I was the only manager left on the stakeout side. So between those dates, I had no days off. Between May and September. Due to having managers leaving and, trying to come on and then leaving and. Yeah.
Yeah, so my question to you, Mr. Okamoto, is this. Did you have a blue card prior to that and it
Yep.
expired and you just couldn't get it redone?
Correct.
Okay. I think on my end, it's kind of hard because technically, the card expires, you gotta get it done. I understand you guys are busy. I understand you're the only manager. But then you're also in that establishment knowing that that's a violation, right? Because by having the card, okay? So what I'm gonna do is because, technically it would be almost like a second violation if it was adjudicated earlier, right? But because we take it really serious about the manager and it's the same one that was on duty, my motion is going to be to approve the $500 recommended fine for agenda item number 42.
There's a motion and a second, any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries. A fine of $500 will be imposed for agenda item number 42. Gentlemen. Calling agenda item number 40.
Yeah, you're done. They'll send you, I think, things in the mail, yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Calling agenda item number 44, LCB 23-0006, the Beach House Sports Bar and Grill.
My name is Tiffany Ellis.
Student House here, can you please read the charge?
On or about January 18, 2023, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee permitted entertainment which caused complaints from the public or reports from the commission's investigators indicating that sounds emanating from the licensed premises caused undue disturbance which disrupted the peace and quiet of the neighborhood in violation of Rule 3-84-78.03 subsection B of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Sorry, Miss Ellis?
Willis.
Sorry. Would you like to plead? You can accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest.
We're gonna accept the charge.
Okay. Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's a motion and a second, any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye, the motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nabzinger, what are your recommendations?
This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500. I'll also note for the commission that licensee was given a warning for the same violation 11 days earlier on January 7th, 2023.
So now Singer, the January 18, 2023, what day of the week is that? And do you know what time the disturbance was recorded?
Day we got the citation was a Wednesday.
Correct. It was a Wednesday
At
at
11.
11:30.
That was my day.
It was a Wednesday and it was 11:30 p.m.
Correct.
Where's your premises located?
It's actually right next to Winter Mall.
Are you there for the January 7th morning?
I was off the island, so another manager was there.
Did anybody, I guess, was there anything explained to everybody in regards to this, someone coming on the 7th that we could have watched the noise or anything like that?
Well, there's only a handful of us that actually work there. So I did get a call. We tried to turn down, well, our music, I guess, is what it was, because it's the live music. So since the citation, we changed everything, we changed our timing, so no music after 10. If we feel like the karaoke system is too loud or the jukebox is too loud, we kind of close our windows. But I did give the people that come and give us the citations, I did give them my phone number, because what the owner told me is that we're in a industrial area. And he made sure, he's been there for 10 years. So he made sure that there's the closest house is way over 1,000 feet away. It's over the highway and it's 3 buildings over as well. So this is the first citation for noise in 10 years that he got, is what he's saying. I only been with him for 3 years now, so this will be my first time here doing this. We all want to follow what we have to do just so none of this will happen again, but cutting our music at 10 in an industrial area is kind of having a big impact on our sales as a whole establishment. So I just want to know, like, what is the correct sound number? I know my meter is not the same as yours because I went and bought one just to be in compliance with you folks. But I could not get anyone to tell me what group I fall in, what classification I fall into, what area I fall into, and what my numbers should be. Because I'm there pretty much every night except Mondays. So when music's playing, I do walk out and make sure like it's not super loud and disturbing the area. I did go through the rule book and I did find the 3 different classes, but I don't know which one I fall into.
Mr. Nassing there. Was there a decibel level of reading in the investigative report?
No, if they had used the decibel meter, that would have been written up under a different violation. This one was based on 2 complaints that were received from the public.
So, Ms. Willis, the complaint that you fall under, right, is 3-84-7803B, right? Entertainment which causes complaints from the public or reports from the commission investigators indicating that sound emanating from your licensed space premise cause undue disturbance. So they're not going to have a decibel reading for that. It's going to be people calling them, and the investigators are going to come out. They're going to listen and see if there's loud sounds. I know. Go ahead.
No, I understand that part. I just want to know for our, for future reference, like what would the numbers be? So if I know that it's getting loud, I can, I can stop it before someone complains.
You can contact our enforcement section and arrange to have sound meter test done of the premises.
Okay. So I guess what you can do is you can contact the enforcement, like as how I said, they can come and show you or give you an idea of what that meter reading might be. But I also do know that I'd say at least maybe 4 years ago, you guys changed your windows, right? They were solid windows
Yeah.
to roll down doors.
Yeah.
Roll
the
down
push-up,
windows
yeah.
or push up and down
Like
windows.
it's like tsunami windows. Or
And I
something
will
like that.
say that there has been times going in that area in the evening when the windows were fully enclosed, it wasn't as loud as it
Yeah.
is now with the windows that are
course.
push up. And so there might be some disturbance in that area. It might not be, I mean, you might not have residential areas, but there is business places that I believe people work late within those areas that are in that area. So, and the other problem is you have the exact same month, not more than 10 days after someone did let you know you had a warning of this, and you might not have been there, that it was happening and then it happened again. So, I mean, it's within 10 days or 11 days after that. So, and I mean, we want to do our best to work with you folks, but then also, the community around you, right? And the people around you. So.
I guess it was just a shocker because we had bigger, louder music that year before, because we had concerts there. and there was no complaints until the beginning of this year. So we want to follow the rules and we want to make sure we're doing everything so we can keep moving.
So I'm gonna make a motion, but I'm not sure if it's a correct motion, so I might need your assistance in the end. So my motion is going to be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item 44, but if there is a future violation within 1 year, then that, along with whatever penalty that violation gets, so will this $500 penalty be tacked to that? I don't know how you'd state it.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
What former commissioners have done in a situation like this, accept the recommended penalty, suspend collection of the entire amount for a 1 year period. If they are issued as a similar violation within 1 year period, then the entire 500 or whatever will be imposed. And then in addition to whatever additional penalties may be assessed.
Okay, so let me try to make the motion again.
All right.
My motion will be to approve the recommended fine of $500, but suspend collection of that fine for a period of 1 year. And within that 1 year, if you folks have another violation of a similar type of violation of the same rule, that $500 fine will then be imposed and be collected in addition to whatever fine is determined at the other violation.
Yeah, for the second one, you got it.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing, seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $500 will be imposed for agenda item number 44. However, such fine, collection of such fine will be suspended for a period of 1 year. During which time, if another violation of a similar conduct occurs, the $500 fine will be due and owing in addition to any amounts in accordance with the second violation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you will talk to investigator Fontaine on the way out, they can maybe help you with respect to the sound meter.
Okay,
issue.
thank you.
Calling agenda item number 40, excuse me, agenda item number 45, LCV 21-0152 Tiana Cafe and Karaoke LLC. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Commissioner, members of the commission. My name is Matthew Chung. I'm the attorney for the licensee Tiana Cafe and Karaoke LLC. The member Tina Tran has asked to be excused, but she has authorized me to represent her in the two proceedings scheduled for today, case 45 and 46. At this time, we would waive reading of the charge, enter a plea and no contest to the charges.
So we're gonna do each charge individually. So we'll start with 45 and then we'll go to the next one. Okay?
Yeah, okay. But I waived reading of the charge, so
Yeah. I mean, so
We just have to take them per agenda item.
that's fine.
I need a motion to accept the plea.
I move we accept it. I'm sorry, I think I'm spaced too long.
Agenda item number 45 has charges 1 and 2.
And he's waived reading of the charges for both, correct, 1 and 2?
Correct.
And he's entered a plea of no contest for both charges?
Correct.
So you move to accept the plea.
Please, yeah.
Got it.
Did we move to seconds?
Yes.
Okay.
Moved in second. Now we're clear on that.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing, seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea of no contest will be entered for charge 1 and charge 2 of agenda item number 45.
Yeah, Mr. Nabzinger, your recommendation for charge 1?
Charge 1, March 20th, 2022, licensee violated COVID orders by serving liquor after midnight at approximately 12:30 a.m. This is licensee's third violation. The recommended fine is $1,000. The first violation occurred on July 22nd, 2020. I apologize, I have to confirm the fine that was issued on that date. The second violation was on December 18, 2020, which resulted in a $500 fine. And the violation from July 22nd, 2020 had a $1,100 fine.
So,
You want charge two?
yeah, we might as well do them together.
On charge two, March 20th, 2021, licensee failed to have primary entrance unlocked while customers were present. This is also a third violation with a $1,000 recommended fine. The first violation occurred on October 2nd, 2020 with a $500 fine. The second violation occurred on December 18, 2020 with a $500 fine as well.
Sorry, Mr. Chun, correct?
Yes.
So do you have any explanations for charge one and charge two?
Yes. Believe all three charges came up during the COVID period where the city was changing their closing times from as early as 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And my client is a Vietnamese owner, and many of the employees that she hires are first generation Vietnamese or Asian women. And many times there is a communication breakdown in trying to explain to them the rules, especially when the city and county COVID orders change the times for the closing. In the first two violations was the same manager, the next violation was a different manager. We would note that to their good fortune, since the end of COVID, they haven't had the same violation. So because of the location of the bar, which is on Nimitz at Chinatown, I think Nimitz and Mauna Kea, the Liquor Commission just likes to visit her place often. So she gets a lot of traffic from the commission. And this is part of the explanation.
Okay, well, for agenda item 45, thank goodness we're out of COVID.
Yes.
And hopefully, we won't be having times changing and mayor orders changing and this and that. So hopefully those things are going to be taken care of, okay? I know this is a third violation, but because we're out of COVID and we're looking to move past those things, for charge one, my motion is going to be to issue a letter of reprimand.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Chun, when you say that your client's establishment is often visited by the Liquor Commission, just like how many times would that be in a month, would you say, or this year?
I'd be surprised if it's not at least once a month. The bar is right on Nimitz between Smith and Mauna Kea, so it's easy to access. And I believe it's at the outer edge of the Chinatown area, so they start at her area and then they kind of work their way into Hotel Street and around, but they are frequent visitors, so she's aware of them. On the other hand, I don't think she's had at all a underage or an overconsumption violation. So they are good when it comes to managing the consumption and checking the IDs. But where the hours changed, and some of these people don't understand the rules, right? When the door closes, then that means essentially you stop serving. So sometimes the newer girls, they'll let the guy finish the drink, even though they've shut the doors. And that's led to the violations.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
No,
I didn't ask you that question, sorry. So again, I'll go back to agenda item number 45. For charge one, I'm going to recommend or propose a letter of reprimand for charge number 1. And again, with charge number 2, based off, again, right, we're talking about a situation where we were in COVID and things like that. I mean, again, though, right? I know you're in that area that it's kind of tough, but we need to have entrances left unlocked. But we were in a COVID time, so I am going to change the recommended fine to $500 for agenda item number 2. So my motion is for agenda item 45, charge to a fine of $500 is my motion.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for charge number 1 of agenda item number 45, and a $500 fine will be imposed for charge 2 of agenda item number 45. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 46, LCV 22-0059, Piana Cafe and Karaoke LLC.
Good afternoon, members of Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Matthew Chung on behalf of the licensee. Request a waiver of a member of the licensee, Tina Tran. We waived reading of the charge in case number 46 and until the no contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nabzin, your recommendations.
This violation occurred on April 27th, 2022, when licensee failed to have a time card for its employee Christy Hong. She failed to clock in that day. This is a second violation. The recommended fine is $350. The first violation occurred on January 18, 2019, which resulted in a $250 fine.
Mr. Chun, any explanation?
No. My client has actually been very good on getting her people to sign the time cards. So this was one time when the investigator happened to catch the person on duty that had missed the card.
My motion is going to recommended fine of $360 for agenda item number 46.
Second.
There are motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Fine of $350 will be imposed for agenda item number 46. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Moving into other business, calling agenda item number 47, liquor administrator legislative update. Mr. Ryan.
I don't have anything to add to what I circulated earlier today in the weekly report.
That's right. Commissioners, any questions on the legislative update? Okay. Calling agenda item number 48, liquor commission, establishment of a permitted interaction group pursuant to HRS 92-5-2-5B1 for purpose of evaluating IT systems and solutions for liquor commission operations. Commission.
Yes, the proposed goal of this permitted, let's see, IT systems, services, analysis, permitted interaction group. The purpose of this interaction group is to provide some of the support for the efforts that we're doing with WE. And in terms of doing the analysis of the systems, we said we would take a look at people, process, and technology. We started this process with her. One of the systems is dating from 1999. Others are from 2013, and certainly it's commendable that we got our money's worth and that the systems are still operational. But as we take a look at the processes with her and to see how that dovetails with some of the investigations that are in progress in our other review, it would be good to make sure that the tools that are available to the Liquor Commission staff will be available to help them now and in the future. And so enabling us to talk with people like the police and other organizations within the city, this interaction group will facilitate that process.
So, I'm pretty interested in learning more about what the IT part is and what areas we need to work to get it moving better and things like that. So I'll volunteer to be part of this permitted interaction.
Thank you, Commissioner Hong, Commissioner Dillinger. Sounds good to me. I will defer to you on this item.
Nope, just announce the members, that's it. Which I think you kind of have.
What we kind of have is efficient.
There's a selection of 3 up there.
There only can be 2 and there's only 3, so if it's not you, it's not everybody else.
Any other comments on this? No. Calling agenda item number 49, liquor administrator. Oh, sorry.
You do? Oh, I'm
We
sorry.
have to vote on it.
Sorry, I was mistaken.
So I'll make a motion that we create a permitted interaction group for the purpose of evaluating IT systems and solutions for liquor commission operations. And do we need to name who's the people on it?
Yes.
With Commissioner Hong and Commissioner Hollinger as the permitted interaction group members.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections, reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also approve, vote aye. The motion carries. The permitted interaction group is established. Calling agenda item number 49, liquor administrator, administrative matters. Mr. I.
I have nothing to add to the weekly report I circulated earlier today.
Mr. Farai, I have one question not related to your email.
Mhm.
But a few weeks ago, we asked the administration to research and provide comments and a report on retaining a third-party agency to assist in the recruitment of an administrator. How are we doing in that process?
The acting administrative officer has been contacting, I think we have a total of 5 names in order to get, they're not, they're non-binding bids, just information and what, in terms of what, the process may cost. I leave it to her to work out the details on the formal procurement. It does seem, just sort of ballpark, is that the cost will be approximately an initial retainer, let's say $5,000, and the balance would be approximately 20% of the salary of the candidate. Ballpark. Just saying, but she needs to work on the actual procurement process with purchasing in BFS.
Thank you. Are there any other items the administration is researching regarding the recruitment of the administrator, or was it principally the third party?
Principally the third party. I can contact Mao and Kauai to see what their arrangements are. I've just not done so yet.
Okay, thank you. Questions, any other questions? Okay, then we are hold on 1 second. This is our hearing. Thank you.